Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're joined here tonight in the studio by His Excellency Dr. Mongy Badr, the Minister Plenipotentiary and Board Member of the Egypt-UN Association, the International Affairs expert. Dr. Badr, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Good evening for you and your viewers. Thank you, and it's my pleasure and the honor to be with you tonight.
Always a pleasure, sir. Dr. Badr, first off, as we saw in the report, the President met the Libyan President of the Presidential Council. Now, they were talking about the withdrawal of foreign forces from Libya, the elements there, the mercenaries, everything, and trying to get together the different Libyan factions to start holding parliamentary and presidential elections. The situation on our western borders, how far or how close are they to holding a presidential and parliamentary elections, ending the divisions and getting all the elements together?
I hope and I wish to have presidential election in Libya very soon, because we would like to cool down the conflict in Libya. And also Libya is very important for Egypt. Also, we have a social relation between Egyptian and the Libyan people. Moreover, our trade with Libya and joint investment, huge number. Also, we would like to cool down all conflicts around Egypt, because now from four sides there are conflicts. So that we would like to cool the west side. Also, Libya, we consider Libya as one of the most important for Egyptian national security. So that's why we would like to push Libyan people to be together, because, you know, in new war or conflicts, no one wins. All sides are losing. And if you listen to outsiders, you will lose everything. Number two, our policy toward Libya that we try to convince all parties. We don't want to be with East or West, no. We try to gather all parties in one place to achieve one goal, to reach stability and peace. Another point I want to stress about Libya, that no way Egypt will allow any foreign power to interfere in Libya. We try to settle down all disputes by using diplomacy and also by using aggressive power. We put our red line. Nobody touches this line. Also, for Libya, I am on the personal level, I'm very optimistic that inshallah very soon it will be presidential election and the legislative elections. And also because of the nature of Libyan people, they are very nice people, except minorities, as you know, and your viewers know. And if we exclude this minority, most of Egyptian people, they are very nice people. They are lovers of Egypt, and also they like to live in peace and also to stability. Libya has huge natural resources. It could be one of the most rich country in Middle East. I'm not exaggerating if I mention globally. So that's why we would like to keep resources for Libyan people. We would like them to use this. And also we want them to copy Egypt, not to export raw materials, but to have some modification and to have some stage of industry in Libya, and also to use natural gas and to use oil for new generation. Moreover, Libya will be very soon, inshallah, to be one of the most dynamic and also most energetic country in Middle East.
Yes. Dr. Badr, speaking of Libya, now the President reiterated the importance of the withdrawal of foreign forces and mercenaries. And as you've mentioned, Egypt really wants to see Libya move ahead towards its road to democracy and have presidential and parliamentary elections. But how strong is it, the foreign interference there? Many countries, do they not want to see Libya actually achieve their democratic political life manifested in a parliament and a presidency? So it's not just Egypt trying to get the Libyan factions together, but also trying to counter the influence of foreign players within the Libyan territory.
You know, what we mentioned yesterday, we are going to say something different today. Tomorrow we are going to mention other new ideas, because now instability in Libya will affect Europe. And now Europe try to push Egypt to reach conclusion or to solve the Libyan problems or Libyan conflict. This is number one. Because of that migrant from Libya to south of Europe.
Yes.
This is number one. Number two, to use the natural resources, gas and oil. Number three, it's enough for Europe, the war in Ukraine between Russia and also for United States. Now there is a conflict in Iraq and in Syria, in Gaza, in Yemen, and also with China. So most of the countries now try to cool down conflict. Number three, it will be, I think, there is a meeting between His Excellency President Fattah al-Sisi and also the President of Turkey, Mr. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, very soon in Cairo. So maybe they are going to discuss Libyan issues. If both of them, they reach a conclusion or to reach a solution or compromise, I think foreigners will leave Libya. But there is still point which I cannot confirm. It's the interference of France and Italy. It's a very sensitive matter because Italy considers itself the ex-colony, so it has the right to do something in Libya. Okay, and you know the role of France during Mr. Sarkozy ruling France. In fact, also it was very not positive role. It was a completely negative role. So that's why, except the position of these two countries, I think the others maybe understand the need of Libya to live in peace and stability.
Yes, hopefully so. Well, sir, now looking at Egypt's foreign affairs file in general and its relations, now you've mentioned that Egypt is witnessing a lot of turbulences from different directions. Now, we spoke about Libya. What about the eastern side? What's happening in Gaza? Now, the situation started on October 7th, and it is getting bigger. More countries are getting involved. We are seeing Yemen, we are seeing Iran, rhetoric between the US and Iran. Now, the President and our Foreign Minister, Sameh Shoukry, they've been reiterating the two-state solution, ceasing fire, also securing sustainable humanitarian aid getting into Gaza. How are we doing in terms of mediating efforts, in terms of our diplomacy? Egypt alone or Egypt with countries such as Qatar and the US? Where are we in this dynamic?
Let me mention to you that we have a classic circle of our foreign policies. And now we have a new circles. In fact, the tradition, it was African dimension, Arab dimension, Muslim dimension, European, or something like that. There is a new circles or new dimension. First one, it's Mediterranean, East Mediterranean. Why East Mediterranean? Because of energy. We have another dimension with Red Sea, because of what? Maritime security. We have another dimension with Europe, that conflict between Russia and 52 European or foreign countries. Also, we have a dimension of environment. This it's very important. We consider this, it's a new dimension for foreign policy of Egypt. The most important dimension, it's the economic dimension, because if you follow the visit or external visit for His Excellency Sisi, since 2014 till this moment, you can notice that the economic dimension in all his visit, he stressed about the need to have positive economic cooperation between Egypt and the other side. Also, when he has a meeting inside Egypt with chairman of big companies or even with leaders or president, one of the main items, it's economic aspects. Yes. So these aspects, it's another dimension in foreign policy. Moreover, what we did in infrastructures, it moved you to another place. Now Egypt, it's not only African country or Arab country. Egypt now it's playing a very important role regionally and globally. You can notice, if there is conflict between Palestinian and Israel, even President of the United States phoned Mr. Sisi and to ask him to interfere to cool down this conflict. African Union, we are the pioneer of NEBAD 2063, and this initiative related to infrastructure, and we have a good experience in infrastructure. The third one, it's Gulf dimension. Now we try to concentrate with 6 Arab countries, Gulf Council, especially Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates. Because of what? Because of the economic dimension. And another dimension, it's security, regional security. And we used to mention that we are ready within few hours, we will be with our brothers in Saudi or Arab countries. So every day, the circle of your foreign policy expand. So that is why we used to mention the role of presidential diplomacy now is increasing, not only in Egypt, but also globally.
Well, do you feel that with the political situation or the conflict taking place in Gaza, now, as you've mentioned, Egypt is trying to strengthen its relations economically with countries, the GCC countries, the Gulf countries. Now, do you feel with all the instability taking place within that region, does it make it more difficult to actually cooperate economically with these countries, or is it seen as an opportunity to increase economic cooperation as a way to keep a lid on what's happening in Gaza on the eastern side?
In fact, I try to avoid your political point. I try to concentrate in economy, because Egyptian people now, they are willing to know about the dollar and the prices of commodities. And so that I try to reflect to you that there is a lot of effort, and Mr. President exerts a lot of effort to have stability and also to continue in his economic development. But you insisted to ask a political side. It's okay. So I can mention to you one point, that the conflict in Gaza create 4 conflicts. One conflict create 4. Number 1, the conflict between America and some groups in Iraq and Syria. Number 2, the conflicts of Houthi between states and Britain from another side. This number 2. Number 3, Ethiopia started to think to have entrance to see through memorandum of understanding with Somaliland in Barbara port. This number 3. Number 4, what happened in Sudan. This it affected because most of us concentrate about what happened in Gaza Strip. Unfortunately, what happened in Sudan, it's something very sad to me and to all Egyptians. We hope to cool down the conflict in Gaza Strip, and also we hope Israel should understand that they cannot destroy ideas. Hamas is idea, not idea and people. So idea cannot stopped by war. Never ever happen, and they should learn from history. Number two, if Israel agreed to have or to grant, I'm sorry to mention this word, to grant country for Palestinian, it's a right to have their country. But if they understand Israel is the big winner today, if they wait till tomorrow, the number of Palestinians is increasing. So that's why maybe what they have now in their hand cannot reach tomorrow. So if they have a wise politician, they should think about future. Now they depend 100% on America. What happened in America now? Some states would like to say bye-bye to the federalism system. Okay, Texas, what happened in Texas? Now the National Guard, they are controlling the border with Mexico. They doesn't allow to federal army to interfere. What do you think? Number 2, 25 states ruled by Republican Party. They support the ruler of Texas. It's a beginning of something will happen in the States tomorrow. It could be. So that's why Israel should rethink again. Internationally, you know that the world we are changing from unipolar to multipolar. Today is United States is the major power. Tomorrow it's not. Europe now it's one of the power. Yes. Tomorrow it's not. So that's why I think if they think wisely, they should use the opportunity. Most of the countries globally pushing Israel to accept the solution of 2 countries. They will win. But I think, maybe I'm wrong, future with us, especially for Palestinians. One word, yes. Future with us. So maybe there is, or there are wise people in Israel to stop this massacre and also genocide, this which doesn't happen before. And Israel is the only country globally which occupy the land of other people. Occupation finished globally, except Israel.
Yes.
Yeah, they have the ability to continue like that? I don't think so. They have the ability to change their civilian society to military society? I don't think so. Their economy will bear all this economic pressure and economic loss? I don't think so. America or American people will accept to supply them with money forever? I don't think so. So we welcome them to live between us, but in peace way, in wise way. They are neighbor. And before Jews, they are living in Egypt and in all Arab countries in peace, and they are national citizens in Egypt, in Morocco, everywhere. So that's why we are not against Jewish. We are against the thinking or the way of Netanyahu and his group. Yes. Completely we are against them. Hoping that in few coming days to reach a ceasefire and we can stop this genocide, especially we are very close to شهر رمضان المعظم. I hope يعني they can يعني have more time to do something, يعني, because it's a human being.
Yes.
Yeah, I am a human being and everywhere. So that's why we support them. And also Egypt continue since the beginning to have a pressure in Israel to reach ceasefire and also to release the refugees.
Yes.
Yeah, both of them. And also, as you mentioned, that we 80% from food medicine coming from Egypt, not from any other country. So we used to support our brothers. We used to support our neighbor in Africa. We used to be very active and also very cooperative with Europe. Because you know that your neighbor, Africa, Arab, and in North Europe. This three dimension is very important for us. And also we hope one day to have a federation of countries located on Mediterranean Sea. Maybe thinking with you.
Well, Dr. Badr, now you've mentioned that Egypt is playing a very important global, international and regional role, and you've mentioned how Egypt is intensifying its efforts with a lot of African states, along with Europe as well. Now, Egypt is considered, due to its political and geographical location, it's a gateway to the African continent. So, about the European-African relations, what are the dynamics in terms of our circle, as you've mentioned, regarding the European and African countries, the linkage, because Egypt is cooperating between the European Union with Egypt individually, and also it is attracting investments to the rest of the African states. Egypt already has its own developmental and projects with African countries, but it is also linking it with the European Union. How is that dynamic working, and what is the future for actually cooperating or strengthening the cooperation between the European Union and the African continent?
In fact, it's very important to point. Africa, it has a regular meeting with EU as a whole, and also individually. We have, I think last week, we have Italy, Africa meeting. Okay, and I think Dr. Al-Mashat, she represents Egypt in that meeting. And also Germany, UK, France. Okay, so Europe with Africa, they have on macro level and also micro level. Number two, most of leaders or African leaders, they have good relation with Europe. And also some of them already have their education in Europe and America, of course. Number three, because of China and because of Russia, Europe start again to rethink about Africa. And instead of using the raw materials, no. They start to think about developing the infrastructure of Africa. I think since 3 months, EU in Brussels announced that they are ready to inject more than $100 billion in infrastructure in Africa. It's competition between Europe, states from side, and the other side, Russia and China and India. Who will win the game? Till this moment, China. Because of what? China concentrates in two angles. Number one, trade. Number two, investment in infrastructure with very soft condition. If they grant loan, very soft condition. Number two, they succeeded to have some people who support China in Africa. Because of what? China, they mentioned that we are coming to you to develop your infrastructure. We are coming to you to have a joint venture. We are coming to you to help you how to use your natural resources. We are coming to you to give you training and also education. and to give you grants and loans, both sides. But unfortunately, this last 4 decades, Europe and the States, they are concerned on one side, how to use natural resources of Africa. Of course, you can cheat me 1 time or 2 times or 3 times. Would you think that you are going to cheat me all times? No. This now Africans themselves, youth of Africa, start to mention, I would like to cooperate with the country, which help me to develop my home, which help me to maximize the benefits of my raw materials. And you know that African society, it's a young society. So they can have good economic development if they know very well how to make limits or borders between policy and the economy. Okay, mixing both of them in developing countries, it's not good. Yeah, okay, this game, it could be played by developed countries. They are very clever how to mix policy with economy. But in some countries, like in Africa, if you mix policy with economy, it's very dangerous for your economic development. Because, you know, the dimension, it's not clear very well. So it's again how to have a good administration to use what the valuable natural resources which you have. This is the main challenge for African countries. Again, how about Egypt? The role of Egypt to be like a bridge between Europe and Africa, how to facilitate, how to understand very well what Europe would like to do with Africa, and also how to reflect African needs from Europe. It's very important, and this is what we are doing. We are doing from ourselves as Egypt, and also are doing this through the third party, like states, like Russia, China, India, or Arab countries.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Egypt is a major player in geopolitical affairs and economic affairs as well, and it is keeping a balance in terms of its relations with the major superpowers. Let's check out this report and we'll be right back.